Hi everyone, Soul Sleeper 17 here. Let me get first like usual. I do not own the picture. I made the thumbnail, and this is a non-paid video. Alright, okay. So, hi, I'm back. And for the last video of my apology and saying I'm back, thank you to the people saying your condolences and everything to me. Thank you. Like I did say in that video, it's been a year or two since she passed, and it did affect me mentally, and I literally have basically said this in like some past videos about it when I made any, but yeah, it just did affect me, and I lost the spark for any videos. But anyways, I'm back, I'm making videos, and I'm actually surprised I'm actually, willing to do this so quickly. I have a rough idea where I'm gonna go with this, but only this part. So, how is Bell gonna go to Bloodborne? You know about those, basically, how should I say this right? The final boss in Bloodborne, the Beast. The Moon Beast? Let's just call it that. But, yeah, there's multiple of them. I'm saying that one was like the weakest one, while the others are stronger. There's more of them around, besides just that Pacific one. But let me just double check though to make sure if I'm actually right real quick though. Okay, it was called the Moon Presence. As I said, I have not played Bloodborne in a while, so yeah. Anyways though, I'm basically decided there's more versions of that. But it's not the Moon Presence because, like I said, I'm making that one like the weakest one, while the others are stronger. Now, how this is gonna start is, this is after the whole entire events of Bell being saved by Eyes. And what happens next is very interesting. Because of him being saved, he does get the Realis Freeze. And I'm not going to write down anything. We're going to go with all canon stuff. So, everything that will happen to Bell after he comes back is going to be in canon. The reason why is I'm not making him stay in Bloodborne, or we're focusing on that, is because one reason. I basically do not remember everything on Bloodborne, and I do not want to start off a new character and go into like New Game Plus again or something. So, I'm basically just gonna basically have him go back to his world after certain things. So, let's get started. This is What If Bell Went to Bloodborne, Part 1. So, as we start off, Bell is about to enter the dungeon. But, we go to Yharnam, as multiple, Lovecraft-like creatures are speaking in a language that we do not know of. As one will say, there is no more hunter around. As another one would speak, the one that will interest us, you're talking about, right? As the one that spoke originally would nod. And the one that's the strongest and the leader says, how about we bring someone from a different world over? One that can entertain us. As all of them look at that one, the leader, and nod, saying, I am interested to see what one mortal could do from another world. So, they look into the void, peering into it as they try to find what world would suit them the best to find a mortal in. And the fact is, they look into Damachi. as they find a young man with white hair and red eyes, about to head into the dungeon. As the leader says, he has potential. He has what we need. He has a drive that will keep him going. So, what do you think? As he looks at each one of the others, as they nod. Give me a minute. And so, after that, a basically chuckle comes in, as they cannot wait to see what this mortal can do. So, as when Bell is about to enter the dungeon, he says, "Alright, time to get stronger and to make sure the goddess can basically be happy with me. Because she really needs it. She seems down for some reason today. Okay, let's get into the dungeon." As when he's about to enter, hold up. Sorry about that. But anyways, as I was saying, when he's about to enter, all of a sudden this weird energy comes around him. As he goes, what's going on? What's happening? As he's brought into Yharnam. So, how does this work? You see, the old ones of the versions of the moon presence that's basically stronger and everything, basically brought him basically into the path of the hunter. The one that basically comes in at the beginning of the game and proceeds then to, become what we know as the hunter. It's basically saying, we're making you become this way. You're gonna have to deal with it now. And so, when he's opened up his eyes, he hears a man saying, basically, "You know you came at a bad time, young man. This place is nothing more than death. But you needed this blood to save your life. So, don't regret your choice." Which Bell's basically thinking, because he's groggy from just appearing out of nowhere. Appearing and taken from his own world out of nowhere. He goes, what do you... As in these weird creature appears after the man left. He sees it. It's basically the wolf creature monster that you see in the opening. I'm just gonna call it a werewolf, just to make it easier. As basically the werewolf appears, he goes, what's that? As before we can even freak out or try to get up and try to fight it, these weird white hands start to appear around his body as they latch onto him. The little, basically, creature ghouls. As after that, when they all surround him, Bell does... How should I say this? Bell does wake up eventually. And so, after he wakes up, he does, wonder what's going on as he's on a table. And so, while he's up on the table, he's looking around. He sees everything. Multiple bookshelves with weird stuff in it that he doesn't know about, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He doesn't know nothing, so he's mentally freaking out. He goes, where am I? What's going on? How did I even get here? Wait, that portal, or whatever it was, it brought me here. I don't know where I am. Wait, Goddess Hestia. And so he gets up and he's groggy. He basically stumbles forward a bit and he, touches the ground, and he basically, clutches his fist and he says he needs to find a way to get home. So, he would try to fight the very first, monster he ever encounters in this world, which is basically the wolf. And he basically would have his knife still. So, he will fight basically the creature and survive. Unlike in canon, where basically we would be defeated. So, after he basically survives, he basically dodged the attacks, killed it, and he's just panting. He's like, what is this thing? What's going on? This ain't... Well, basically the Orario, Orion, whatever. Was never good at the name of it. So, as he basically, is leaving the place, he basically sees that it's truly not his home. It's basically gone. Well, for him at least. He's not even there. He goes, this ain't my home. What's going on? So, after he opens the gates and takes on a few of the enemies, he does eventually get up to this first lantern. And when he ignites it, yeah, he basically gets teleported to the Hunter Dream. So, that's where he gets his weapon and guns. And he learns about the Hunter Dream and everything else of Yharnam. And this is where Bel's journey begins. Because of his system from his world of Devanshi, or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon, he progresses very quickly in killing them, killing everything. And when he basically does get the doll and uses the blood echoes to increase his stats, which he finds out he has a different system now, he basically would nod in understanding and progress quickly, because the combination of his stats from his system, from his world, combined with the system of this world, it would make him progress very easily. So, what happens now? He will basically continue on the journey of what will happen in the game. He basically goes through the DLC first, and he has died and seen things. He has died multiple times, and he has seen things. When he first dies, he freaks out because he's supposed to be dead. He doesn't understand how he's alive. And he's like, what the? How am I alive? I should be dead. And, after he realizes that he can't die, he's essentially immortal. He can't believe it. So, is he reckless? No, he's cautious more. He basically always making sure he's always prepared. He's going through everything quickly, upgrading each stat to a point where the bosses are not easy, but not difficult. It's where he can die to them multiple times over if he's not careful. So, because of this, does he basically progress through his first route easily? No. But he has not died as he will in New Game Plus. So, after the first time, he basically finds out about the umbilical cords. Umbilical cords, basically. The one that you need to basically progress into the secret ending of the game. Or the secret boss fight of the Moon Presence. So, yeah. After he basically consumes them, which he finds disgusting, but he does it anyways because he thinks he can get home. He's doing whatever he can to get back to Hestia, mostly. So, after the first route, it becomes the next moon presence, a baby version of it. He basically then starts New Game Plus, which he is back on the table. He goes, "What the? I was, whatever that thing was, and now I'm back? What's going on? What's happening? Why is this happening?" So he doesn't understand. So he goes through his routes again. He starts over from the very beginning. And what happens is very simple. He gets the next, basically, ending where he basically becomes the next, well, I forgot the name of the guy, so give me a minute. He becomes the next Yharnam. I probably said the name wrong. I apologize, but yeah. He becomes the next one. So, after he basically defeats him and becomes the next one by the moon presence, which he's surprised to see it, again, he basically, as I said, became the next one. What happens next? Well, he wakes up again, back in the hospital, starting over. Which, he has gone mad and, basically has gained a lot of insight and slowly going mad. The more he goes through this stuff, the more he dies, the slower he's losing his sanity. The only thing that's keeping him going is to basically get back to Hestia. Get back to her. And basically continue his life back in his old home. So, since that's the only thing left that's keeping him going, he's doing anything at any cost just to get home. Nothing's stopping him. So, because of this desire and need, he's not letting basically something stay, in his way. For him, that's all that matters anymore. So, why should he why should he care about some people? And he realizes that he's becoming cold. He's changing. Which, this ain't him, so he tries to keep that semblance of himself still. That humanity within him. And so, due to this change in Bell, he basically develops a almost split personality. One where it comes to humans, where he's Bell Cornell, kind, caring, and basically just being Bell. But for monsters, beasts, he's the hunter. He is merciless. He's ruthless. He kills. No hesitation. So, that happens in the second route. The third route, he wakes back up, and he says, "Not again. Why? Why am I in this eternal torment? Why can I not leave? I need to escape. I need to let Yharnam kill me this time around, and I can leave the hunter dream." So after that, he does. He goes through everything. Letting everything that he does in the past keep repeating, but changing something slightly. Eventually, when he does let Yharnam kill him, he wakes up again, back in the hospital room. As soon as he gets up, he falls to the ground. Tears start to flow out of flow down his face as he punches the ground, and because he went down 3 routes already, his stats are maxed. And he's cursing. He was like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Why am I in this eternal suffering? Why can I not leave? Why can't I not go back home? Why? And so he finally breaks down. Basically, old ones are watching this. Amused, basically. They want to see him suffer. They want to basically see him go into despair. As while he is, they basically can't help but chuckle. Until he stops. And then he basically clutches a weapon. A weapon he's been using, or at least one of the weapons he's been using for a while. As he looks up and there's still a determination, he goes like, I'll get home. I'll have to. I can't leave Hestia alone. I won't leave her alone. He basically then stands up. And something in him changed. Something about Bel Cornell was different. That determination is still there, but now there's a sense of, not, I would say, malice or anything, but it's more of the lines of, there's bloodlust in his eyes now. A part of him basically has died off. That is true. But still, Bel is still there. I'm not changing that part. So after going through this route again, more brutal, more vicious than the last with monsters, taking out his frustration, his anger, his despair on them, he basically then consumes the umbilical cords. I know I'm saying that wrong, I know, but he becomes the moon presence again. But something changes. Something truly does change. As the old ones decide to bring him. Since he's basically went through the first time and became an old one, the moon presence, they allow him to basically be in a form in front of them where he would be basically one of them. Since that was his first route, and he became it again in this fourth one. As one of them says, Mortal, you have amused us and became one of us. And you went down these routes and became one of them again, one of us again. We are impressed by you. So, we have let you come here to finally leave the dream and become one with us. One of the old ones. As Bel cannot speak, which they're kind of surprised because he should have the ability to speak in this form. Well, in their language. But then all of a sudden, malice, bloodlust, killer intent floods the area as they realize he is still the hunter of dreams. Well, the hunter. And, well, let's just say this. Each one of them fell to Bel. One by one. No matter how much stronger they were, Bel was just too much. Each kill he did, each one that fell by his hands, he basically absorbed their power, added to his own, and got stronger in the process. They basically could not understand. No one of them could. They didn't know how could a mortal be this strong, even if he became one of them. He should never have become this powerful. And it's because of Realis freeze. But because Bel's determination, his desire to get home, his basically everything that's making him be who he is just to get home. And it changed when he became one of them, when he became the moon presence. And they allowed him to basically become one of them. His body still adapted to the basically Realis freeze, as it gave him new power, new strength. And because even in his, well, we can call this a berserker state, his desire to get home, his desire to get back to Hestia, it's what's basically allowing him to steal the powers of the others. And so, when all of them have fell, including the strongest one of them all, and they're not even alive, basically Bell is there, still in a humanoid moon presence form, tendrils, no face, and holding his weapons, covered in blood. His clothing is covered in blood. As when he, roars out and a wave of power comes off of him, reality cracks. Reality then breaks open. And then he basically returns back to where he was. But the only difference is this. He changes back into his old look, being Bell Cornell. As, when though he's on the ground, panting, he goes, I'm back? I'm normal. But what happened to me? What's going on? No, this has to be a dream, right? Right. This has to be a dream. I couldn't break the cycle. Could I? Before he can freak out anymore, before anything, all of a sudden, he's in a black void. As he hears the others, the other moon presences, the older ones, as the leader says, well done. We underestimated you. I'm very surprised that you were able to kill us and take our powers. Another one that sounds a little bit crazy goes, interesting. I'm very entertained. Good job, kid. As another one that sounds a little bit mad goes, can't believe I lost to someone like you. Damn. As basically the leader says, it's very impressive, but you have returned to your world. Congratulations. You have defeated us. You've returned. And now you can go back to being an adventurer, Bell Cornell. As then Bell says, What did you mean? I absorbed your... The leader will then says, due to your unique circumstance, your abilities, your existence in our world was never to be around, never to be shown. And a secret skill that you had that we did not think of would cause so much problems did. Realis freeze. We shall not tell you anything about it, but we must tell you now. You are one of us still. That form you're in is your form. Your human form. You have a divine form. Which Bell says, divine? I'm no god. I'm a... Give me a minute. As I said, he was saying, I'm no god. Which... They basically chuckle. And say... Boy, you did become a god. You are one of us. We have surpassed humanity and became divine. You may not know this, but you have become a god. A true one. In our world, at least. Here, you are immortal. But you still have your divine, your god form. For you are the last of us, meaning you are the strongest one of them all. You are a god amongst us. And we are truly impressed by you. Which the crazy one says, Kid, let me tell you, I never suspected you to ever, and I mean ever, survive against us. Hell, even kill us. But here you are, standing tall and proud. And I'm impressed by you. As after that, Bell says, so I'm a god. Which the angry one says, of course you're a god. Did you really think you would not have become one? Which Bell says, I didn't know I was going to become a god. Which the leader says, that is understandable. Very, very understandable indeed. Now, though, it does not matter if you do not believe us or not, but you are a god. Look at your hand. As when Bell looks at his hand, he sees this mist around his hand, as then all of a sudden it changes to that of a claw, a moon presence. As then it changes back. He basically says, I'm still, which the leader says, yes, you are still one of us. Though we are the last bit of essence of us since you killed us. We figured we should warn you, tell you, give you some advice. Do not fear the blood. Do not fear yourself. Live your life well. Do not fear the people around you. Your sanity is broken. You are a broken person. You must live well, Bell Cornell. Do not disappoint yourself or others. Which Bell goes, wait, since I'm a god, why am I, as the crazy one says, powerful? Oh, quite simple. Your body's getting used to all this new power. So in a sense, you basically can transform into your divine form, which is humanoid, and then proceed to kill. You have control over it this time around. That's for sure. As the mad one just sighs and says, yeah, surprisingly, you're basically a, how should I say, a paradox to us, maybe? As Bell just kind of gulps, not understanding, but at the exact same time, doesn't want to. But yeah, he has no choice in the matter. So he goes, I'm a paradox? Which the one says, well, the leader says, yeps, you are. Because no one is ever supposed to reach our level. But you did. And we are very impressed. You'll have powers unique to you, like your absorption of us. But I must warn you, the fauna, or the system that you have with your gods here, you'll get unique abilities. But in your godly power from Yharnam, you are connected still. So you could still basically go to it if you want, but we both know that you won't. So, let me tell you this. You are still connected. You can summon the monsters from that world, our world, into yours, for you are still a god in our world. You can do it, Bell Cornell. As Bell goes, so I can bring, yes, You can. Including the weapons. You can summon them with ease. Any weapon. The ones that you've gained. The ones that you have upgraded. To the max. Everything. So, Bell just says, so I'm a god now. A god? I'm actually a god? As Bell holds his head, wearing still his hunter's outfit. The one in the picture. As the crazy one says, yep, get used to it, kid. But, anyways. Our time's up. Congratulations on reaching your home and reaching godhood. See you around. As they leave, Bell returns back to normal and, the area around him as people looking at Bell. He notices as when they see him, he's having the mask on, the hat on, they can see the white hair and the red eyes. People are kind of a little bit scared. As Bell gets up, he basically whispers to himself, I have to go see Goddess Hestia. As he walks forward, all the way to the church. Well, that's where he was going, but when he's passing the Adventurer Guild, he hears Hestia goes like, you have to find Bell, it's been 4 days. Why has no one basically found him yet? Which then Edna says, Goddess, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no signs of him. He might be, as then Hestia says, no, I know he's alive. I can still sense him. Even when he was far away, I can still sense him. As all of a sudden everyone hears the doors open to the Adventurer Guild. Those wooden doors that basically move back and forth on a hinge. As they see Bell stumble forward in, as they basically don't know who he is or don't know the outfit, but Hestia's just staring at him with wide eyes because of those eyes. She can sense the pain, the suffering, the sense of madness, but yet a sense of hope, a sense of relief, grateful, happiness, care, an overall joy of being back and seeing her. She doesn't understand why, but then when the person says and chokes out, says, Goddess Hestia. Hestia's eyes widen. She's about to say something, but Bell rushes over and hugs her and starts to cry. Immediately, the hat falls off, showing off his white hair, as then Hestia brings down the mask and holding Bell's, face in her hands as she goes, Bell? Yes, I'm back. I'm finally back, Goddess. As before she can say any more, he just holds her tight, shaking because he's crying. As Edna is shocked to see this, she doesn't know what's happened. His clothing, anything really. It's just different. As Hestia is holding him, she can tell Bell has been through a lot. Bell is also different, she can tell. But overall, he basically is home, and she won't worry about it for a while. So after Bell cries for a while, he falls asleep. As she whispers to herself, what have you gone through, Bell? So, what happens is very simple. He basically, will basically wake up in his home. While the church, in the bed, as Hestia is sitting in a chair and having her head, on her arms, while she's laying on the bed, which Bella says, it wasn't a dream. I'm back. Finally back. Finally back. He can't help but laugh, even though it may sound like he's crazy, from all the stuff he's went through, from everything. Belle is just finally glad to be home. As Hestia wakes up due to his laugh, and when she goes, Belle? Belle! She'll jump up and hug him. She goes, oh my god, you're awake, I've been worried about you. You have to tell me everything that's happened to you. Which Belle says, you won't believe it, goddess. He's holding his head and he goes, you won't believe what's happened to me. And when she goes, Belle? Tell me, what happened to you? And so he looks at her, and he looks like a madman, crazy, as he says, I went through absolute hell. Which Hestia's in shock and her eyes widen, as then Belle proceeds to tell her everything. His journey, his deaths, the monsters he's faced, the prey he's killed, basically, the bosses he's killed. At the end of it, he tells her that how he returned. And after he basically says he killed all of them, all the elders, the ones that are supposed to be stronger than him, when he was the moon presence, they basically died to his hands. Hestia can't believe it. And then he says, so, I'm a god in my own right. I'm a divine being. I'm here, and yet I'm still me. But I know I'm not. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not crazy, goddess. Which you can see Belle's desperation to be, for her to believe him, and she could tell he's not lying. So she basically takes a deep breath in and out, and asks, alright then, bring the monster from that world. As his eyes widen and he nods slowly. So, what he does is, he brings over the werewolf type monster, where it's on all fours and some flesh is off of it, as she goes, that's... Which he nods and says, this is a monster from that world. I've faced this creature many times. Which, it's not doing nothing, it's just sitting there, waiting for Belle's command. As Hestia will nod as he desummoned it. She goes, I believe you. She basically will go up and hug him, and she goes, you're still Belle, no matter what. I'm just glad you're back. As tears start to form her eyes as Belle hugs her tightly. And he says, coming back to you was the only thing that kept me going. I couldn't leave you. I made a promise, didn't I? In which she nods. So, he asks, how long have I been gone? Asleep, at least. 4 days. 4 days? Just, yeah. I'm surprised that you're even up. The way you said everything, it sounded like you never slept. He nods no. I haven't. I'm surprised I'm awake now. So, she says, Belle, I want you to never go into the dungeon. Well, for right now at least. When she blinks, he goes, may I ask the reason? You need to rest. Which Belle says, I can't. We need the money. I need to get the monster cores and basically get Valis. I'm your only familia member, goddess. I have to. She sighs and just says, then promise me one thing. Which he slowly nods. She goes, don't lose control of yourself. Stay Belle. Please. which she basically not. But he blinks and nods understandingly. He says, I'll stay myself, but I developed we call it split personality. I'm Belle Cornell, but as soon as I put on those clothing, my gear, I'm the hunter. I'm no longer Belle Cornell. In which she can't help but sighs, but nods understandingly. So she puts her hand on his shoulder, and she goes, as long as you come back to me, I know you'll be safe. Which he nods. So, Belle will get up, and he says, but I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in so long. I've forgotten how to eat, I think. In which she would just blink and just says, oh, Belle. So she got those potato poppers, whatever, as Belle would eat for the first time in a very long time. As afterwards, he was, finally says basically he hasn't felt good to basically eat again. And so, she'll basically, smile, and she goes, I bet. Now, please be careful in the dungeon. I don't know if you can... He goes, I know. Die. I understand, goddess. We don't know if I basically can return, but if I'm still connected to Yharnam, to the hunter dream still, then I will be able to come back. I just have to make a lantern. And everything I had on me will appear with me again. As she will nod in understanding. As she goes, alright, just please be careful. In which he will nod again. As after that, he'll get on the gear. He won't take the gun with him outside. But he does take the saw cleaver. He'll get on the outfit of the hunter and will walk out of the church and immediately will go to the dungeon. And everyone can tell this person is not normal. People give him a wide berth, including other adventurers. He basically goes into the dungeon. And immediately as soon as he does so, Belle Cornell is gone. And the only one that's left is the hunter. He gets out basically a pistol, because he summons it into his hand. As when he looks, he sees monsters. And then he says, it's time to let the hunt begin. And he puts on the mask and basically, the monsters are slaughtered. He gets the crystals. And he does not care about how strong they are or the floors. He basically slaughters them. I'm not lying. He would. No matter what floor he goes on, the monsters will get difficult, but in the end, he will always kill them. But for the first floor, and the second and the third, yeah, no, it's basically easy. He gets a lot of basically magic stones. Well, monster cores, and he keeps going. He goes to the fourth one. Not hesitating. Defeats them. Give me a minute, everyone. Okay, so like I said, he basically, goes for the fourth floor, the fifth floor, and the sixth floor. He does so with so much ease. And the fact is, Realis Freeze is still in effect. because of one reason. He is now not trying to catch up to eyes. He's not trying to basically surpass anyone. The determination he has is to get stronger, to basically not leave Hestia, to basically keep going, keep moving forward, to basically to become the strongest he can be here in this world. And to protect those he cares about. Compared to what he's been through, compared to basically fighting against monsters of different kinds, Eyes is not on his mind anymore because he has surpassed her in every way possible. So, Royale's freeze will affect his stats, won't basically increase like normal. And some part of him still wants to catch up to Eyes. He thinks he's still not good enough. The reason why I'm saying this is because that is Belle Cornell's main core. He wants to catch up to her, to get, to be by her side. But the hunter in Belle, the one that has made himself known in his mind, the one that has reached godhood, the one that has surpassed Eyes, knows that she is not needed to be surpassed. He does not need to do that. But he also knows that he needs to get stronger to basically keep everyone he cares about safe. Because if he can't, he'll be alone again. He'll be nothing more than just Belle Cornell, the person that basically could not defend the people he cared about. And he doesn't want that. So, the hunter side of him is hunting down beasts and trying to keep everyone he cares about alive, safe. Because he has made friends in Yharnam and they've died and he lost them. That basically broke some part of him. That's not basically a lie. He is broken because of that. He can't help it. So, a part of him basically is that way. And so, Belle, gets down to the 7th floor, and by the time he reaches the end, he goes back up. And he thinks to himself, the monsters here are easy compared to the ones in Yharnam. How am I able to defeat them? It's because I just became so... As all of a sudden he stops. He then basically opens up he opens up basically a stat window, which he somehow knows he can bring up, since he's connected to Yharnam still. I know this is a game mechanic, but honest truth, since he went to the game, Bloodborne, he should be able to still bring up his stats. He still... Okay, so basically he still sees all his stats are 99. As he basically now understands. He still has all his stats from Yharnam. He still, has them all. So he chuckles to himself and continues the path up. After that, when he gets back to the Adventuring Guild, he shows all basically the monster cores. And he exchanges them for Valis. Edna sees this, and she goes, Belle? He goes, hello, Edna. I'm back. But she goes, yeah, you're back. It's been 4 days. What happened and where have you been? But more importantly, how many floors did you go down? You're all supposed to go down to 3. Which Belle chuckles and he says, I've been through so much, Edna. Compared to what I've been through, the monsters in the dungeons mean nothing to me. They're nothing more than easy prey. When he says prey, Edna is a little worried. Because Belle was not like this before. So whatever changed him, changed him. And she can't help but feel a little bit worried now. Which is understandable. So, she goes, pray? He goes, oh, my apologies. Slip of a tongue. Let's just say that much. She goes, Belle, that wasn't a slip. Which he sighs and goes, where I was, there was monsters. But they were called prey. Because I was a hunter. That's all I'm willing to say. Please understand. She would nod. She notices the saw cleaver. She goes, and that? He goes, oh, this is my weapon. It's a saw cleaver. It basically can, well, be this way, as then, with a flick of a switch, because that's how I see it, it'll work. It basically then extends and basically makes the saw part there. Which Edna's eyes widen and he goes, it switches. All the weapons I've used in that world were like this. So, I'm pretty much used to using this type of weapon. In which she can't believe it. She goes, Belle, this is amazing? She goes, different, but yes. You progressed so far. I'm happy for you. Which he basically says thank you to her. Now, he would get his vows, and it's a large amount. And I mean it. It's a large amount. So, after that, he would go back to Hestia. People, though, would have basically been shot by him. So after he does return, he goes, Goddess, I'm back. She goes, Belle, how was it? He basically shows all the vows he got. Her eyes widen. He goes, I could have gone further down, but I wasn't going to basically do that. I need more items and equipment. I cannot allow myself to keep constantly get hurt. She goes, wait, hurt? And she notices some cut marks on Belle. He goes, I'm too used to fighting enemies and dodging. I let my guard down plenty of times due to the fact of my, how should I say, she goes, overconfidence? He goes, no. My opinion of the monsters here in the dungeon are weak. I let my arrogance blind me. In which she is shocked by that. She goes, Belle, it's fine. You're learning. Don't basically... She goes, no, I should have understood that. I can't let myself get overconfident. I've had this happen to me plenty of times in Yharnam, and I died because of it. It's just that when they basically are weak, I don't see no value in basically stopping them, or trying to basically dodge. I take the hits, and I'm able to basically then get more basically hits on them. I become not complacent, but I allow myself to basically get overconfident. And I keep making the same mistake. I just find it annoying sometimes. Wish she would not understanding, so she asks, so what are you going to do? He says, I'm going to find armor. Lightweight, though. One that won't restrict my movements. I can't allow myself to basically become hindered by the armor here. In which he nods in understanding. But, he says, I want to treat you out to a meal. So, how we basically go to a tavern nearby. The House of Fertility, I read? She goes, wait, really? He goes, yes, I heard good things about it. in where she'll not. And when they do go there, they eat and have a great time. Now, Seer sees, him. Well, Belle is just, being Belle Cornell, and Seer has a strange look. One, we all know who she is. And she sees Belle's soul, which, if you don't know from canon, she is Freya. So, basically, since Freya can see Belle's soul, she is shocked to see that it's, darker. Still transparent, but there's so much more to it. It's like, so much stuff has happened to Belle that his soul is broken in a way that she never seen. It's like a soul that basically refused to break, refused to basically back down, still living, even though it's tormented. She can't help but wonder what has happened to him. So, Seer will come up and she goes, "Hello there, I'm Seer, and I will basically, take your order today. What would you like to have?" And so they order and eat. And what happens is very simple. Because of Seer/Freya being, wondering what happened to Belle, she basically will keep an eye on him now. But she can tell Hestia is worried, which she basically thinks she has every right to be worried. For a transformation, what Belle has gone through is not normal. Which Belle does, explain what he'd done in the dungeon, what's happened, and just say that he's, happy to be home. Which Hestia is happy too. So at the end of the day, Belle does, sleep and everything, and he's happy to be back home. Though, he will have nightmares. He's going to have nightmares, and he's going to basically, how should I say this? Dream of his deaths. He's going to have that happen, and it can't be helped. Belle cannot help it. No matter what he does, it's going to happen, so he will wake up in the middle of the night and hold his head, and does say, "No matter what I do, I can't get rid of these dreams." So, hopefully I can. As Hestia will wake up and she goes, "Belle, why are you awake?" He goes, "Sorry, goddess." She basically would just blink and she goes, "Oh, wait, we forgot to check your stats." As, like in canon, in the first time of his stats, they would go up high. But in this case, Belle's stats are higher due to the fact that he went down to the 6th floor. But I will say this though, they're only maybe 4 points higher than in canon at this point in time. Reasons why. Due to that he's not, basically focusing on eyes, he does have to, have a different reason and everything to get stronger and such. So that's why I'm basically saying he's, still at least 4 points higher than in his stats than canon. At level 1, he's able to go to the 6th floor. Which should not be possible, but he does. Well, 6th to 7th floor, but yeah. So, after Hestia basically tells him, he goes, I'm not surprised. Since I'm taking down the monsters with ease, the experience I get from them, or at least the fauna that I get, is lower. I had to go down and basically fight against the monsters way more. It's like when I get the blood echoes. She goes, blood echoes? She goes, yes. What I did with the doll to upgrade myself. Wait, the doll? As when he summons the doll, she basically says, good hunter. It's good to see you again. He'll go, yeah. Can you tell me how many blood echoes I have? Or at least see if you can upgrade me? She goes, of course, hunter. And so, after he basically sees if he can upgrade himself, he can, surprisingly, which is shocking for him. Which he asks, how is this possible? She goes, hunter, you forget. I am your doll. I can upgrade you. There's no one. I mean, she goes, oh. Due to your return to this world, your power seems to be, well, greater. You basically can't upgrade your stats, she says. The ones that, bloodborne stats-wise. But she does say you can, though, increase your other stats. Here. As she basically is talking about, the paper, she points to it, where all his stats are shown. He would nod slowly in understanding. So he says, so you mean to tell me that I... She goes, yes, hunter. You essentially can grow here faster. But I recommend saving those blood echoes for some other day. In which he will nod in understanding. As the doll leaves, and that leaves Hestia and Belle to ponder on everything. Which Hestia tells Belle to please not do anything rash. Just don't try to basically get stronger than you should, she'll ask. In which he'll say, of course, goddess. And so, Belle would, keep himself in check. He won't go above what he, than what he is in canon. Because I think he would keep himself safe like this. And not to basically draw too much attention, which Belle will realize if he gets too strong, people will notice it. And he can't allow that. So, he basically will grow, like I said, in canon. So after that, Belle would go to sleep and... well, go back to sleep, but this time, Hestia will crawl into bed and hug him. Making sure he can sleep. Peacefully. And to make sure her worries are never, seen. So, that's where I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I hope you can all have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye. I do have to eat my dinner, and I do have to get ready for work. So, you all have a nice day. Okay? Bye, everyone. Hope you liked the video. Bye.